Michael, feeling a little embarrassed but relying on the rights of true friendship, asks his childhood friend for some loan money during a difficult time and tells him that things are not going well for him. Max replies, "Hey, you idiot. In friendship, you give orders. You don't make requests." Michael happily says, "Okay, fine." After the call ends, Nayla asks Michael, "What happened? Do you see any hope?" Michael happily says, "My friend is giving us the money." Nayla happily says, "Now we will work really hard," and they get back to work. Max quickly sends 100,000 yuan to Michael. On the other side, Michael receives the notification, sees it, and becomes extremely happy. He sends a voice note to his friend saying, "You have completely fulfilled the rights of friendship." Max listens to his voice note and replies, "Never think of yourself as alone." Suddenly, Max's wife arrives and stares at him angrily. A few days later, Michael calls Max again and says, "I feel very ashamed saying this, but I need money once again." Max says, "Why are you talking like strangers? Just tell me how much you need." Michael replies, 50,000 yuan. Max says, "All right, don't worry at all, I'll send it to you." Michael is extremely worried and upset over his situation and everything around him. Max starts to send 50,000 yuan, but suddenly he thinks, what if my friend is in some bigger trouble? So he decides to send a little more and sends 100,000 yuan again. Michael receives the notification and becomes very happy. He calls his friend again and says, "I asked you for 50,000 yuan, but you sent 100,000. Max says, "You asked for 50,000 out of respect for our friendship, and the other 50,000 I sent to protect that same friendship." Michael becomes speechless at his words. Suddenly, Nayla comes from behind and asks, "Did you manage something?" Michael says, "My friend has once again raised my head with pride." Nayla says, "Now it's our turn. We will work day and night and repay his money with love." 5 years later, Max comes to his wife in the kitchen and says, "My friend is coming. Prepare some nice food for him." Helen says, "He's coming anyway. Why don't we ask him to return our money too?" Max says, "Don't you dare even think like that," and tells her how 10 years ago, when he came from the village to the city looking for work, his friend sold everything he had just to give Max money so he could work. Then Max leaves and opens the door. Michael and Nayla have arrived. Michael says, "I brought organic eggs for my chickens for my friend." Max says, "You troubled yourself for no reason." Helen invites them to eat, and Max says, "We'll happily chat as much as we want, and we'll eat too." Michael says, "You're right about everything, but the real reason I came is to return your money." Max says, "I never gave it to you as a loan." Michael tries to forcefully hand it to him. Helen comes and says, "There's no need to worry. I'll solve this." Max signals her to stay quiet. Helen says, "Michael, my brother, the greatest relationship in this world is friendship. In my opinion, it is greater than every other relationship. We gave you this money because we considered you our true friend, because only a true friend helps another friend. You do not need to return it at all." Helen further says, "Oh no, friends don't keep accounts between them, because friendship is a bond of the heart, not money. And we still remember the day you held our hand and stood by us like a true friend. If we take this money back today, then there would be no one more small-hearted than us, because it would stain the beauty of this friendship." Max says, "She's absolutely right. Forget everything and come eat." And they all happily walk toward the dining table. How many marks out of 10